A very good afternoon, class. So, as you all know, we have started with chapter 6, that is linear programming problems. As we have finished the formulation part, that is, we saw how to formulate, how to form a particular linear programming problems in the previous lessons. And we are right now on how to find out the solution part of a linear programming problem. So as you all know class, yesterday I told you all what is a feasible region and we studied last year as well. Feasible region is nothing but the common region which is represented by all the constraints given in the problem. Now today we'll be solving sums wherein there was no table involved, as yesterday we finished the sums involving table. So basically we have finished finding out the feasible region up till the objective function of simple cases. Now in the coming week, we'll be solving the sums based on special cases. So what is a special case, that I'll be explaining you all the next week. So basically class, if you remember last year, we studied these two types of regions or names in LPP problem. That is, one was the bounded region and the second unbounded region. So bounded, as the word says, is also called as restricted or closed elements. So all the sums involving less than equal to or greater than equal to are called as bounded regions. As far as unbounded region is concerned, any region involving the sign of only less than or greater than without an equal to sign is called as unbounded or open element. So I hope class this logic is clear for you all. So basically there are two types of region, bounded and unbounded. So class, as you all saw yesterday, we studied two types of sums over here. One was the corner point method, wherein you saw that the area which we shaded was towards the origin. So as you see class, I have only shaded the area which is towards the origin. I have not shaded the outside portion in this particular sum. But in this case, if you see, where our area has only a certain boundary, the area which is above this particular boundary is going up till infinity. So there is no limit basically. This area represents that the area is above 14 and above 10 on x as well as y axis if we see. So all the points above this particular area and all the points above this particular area will all satisfy the given equations. And as you all see, there is no limit to the numbers which we are taking. So the area which is towards the right hand side and which does not have a specific end, that is called as unbounded region. And as you all can see, the area which we shade towards the origin is always called as a bounded feasible region. So basically what I explained you all was, when we shade towards the origin, that is towards the O, the feasible region is called as bounded because it has got a certain specific shape. It is an enclosed diagram. But when I talk about greater equal to sign, wherein we shade the right hand side portion and we don't have a specific end, now this is an incomplete diagram if you see. So basically such type of diagrams or feasible region are called as unbounded or open. That means they don't have any limits. They are unlimited till infinity. So coming to exercise 6.1, yesterday I given you all some sums for practice. Today also you will see one or two sums I will be solving in front of you to help you explain the solution part of a LPP problem. So this sum I had given as an assignment when we started with this particular chapter. So as you all can see, the objective over here is to maximize the profit. The constraints are in order to produce these two products, magazine A and magazine B, we require three machines, that is 1, 2, and 3. So we need to process the two magazines on these three machines. So the decision variables which I took was, let magazine A be X and magazine B be Y. So this was the type of the sum which you all should have got if you all have solved this particular assignment. So as per the condition, the required table is, this is a tabular format. I told you all machine related sums will always be solved in a table. So as per the information given, I filled out the details and then I got the required inequations. Now as the sum was of maximum, in maximum you remember the sign, the opposite, that is the less than equal to sign will come. So I framed the inequations, and after that you always have to write your non-negative constraint, that is x comma y greater or equal to 0. Then the objective function z is equal to 10x plus 15y. So in this way the LPP formulation can be written as you all can see. Maximize z is equal to 10x plus 15y. Subject to constraints, there are three constraints over here, and this is your non-negative constraint. This was the formulation part. Coming towards the solution part, as I have explained here, you have to take one inequation first, change it into a corresponding equation with an equal to sign, as you all can see I have done. Then put the value of x to be as 0 to get the coordinate y, and then you get your first coordinate a 0, 12. Similarly, in the same equation, put y is equal to 0 and you get your coordinate b 18, 0. In the similar way, I have solved my second inequation and got the coordinates c and d. Same way, the third equation got the coordinates e and f. Now, in order to plot them, the number or the table which I took was this one, as you will see in the diagram. As the minimum number is 10 and maximum it is going up to 30. So you can take 2 ka table, or even 3 is fine, or you, if you're comfortable, 5 table can also do, or 10 ka table will also do. In this case, I have taken 3 table, as you can see. So 1 centimeter is equal to 3 unit on both axes. As I told you class, with the help of a scale, exact 1 centimeter if you plot, it will be better and you'll get the answer easily. So as you all can see, I have done the plotting A and B. A was 0, 12 and B was 18, 0. Then after plotting, join the line and write the equation of the line on it. In similar ways, I have drawn all the 3 lines like this. So you will be getting a small triangle here in between. So this should be the diagram after plotting all the 3 lines of the equation. Now the most important part is finding out the feasible region. Now in order to find out the feasible region class, you have to go back to the inequations. Now as you can see in all the 3 inequations, the sign of less than equal to was there. So less than equal to means towards the origin. So all the 3 are coming towards the common area, which you can see I have highlighted like this. So here you can see I have got 3 new points which I have named as G, H and I. You can name them as per your convenience. So basically after shading, what you have to write, O, E, G, I, D is the feasible region. So in my sum, the feasible region which I got is O, E, G, I and D. Now out of this 5 coordinates class, I don't have the coordinates of G and I. So as I told you, you can find them by solving the 2 equations simultaneously. But the question arises which equations you will solve. So pay attention to the diagram. As you can see, point G is made by these 2 lines of the equations which you'll focus, you'll see. That is this one which is going and this one. So the point where they are intersecting has been made as point G. So basically these are the two equations by which point G is being formed. So in order to find G, you have to solve these two equations simultaneously. As far as I coordinate is concerned, you can see I is formed by this particular line and this particular line. So for I, you will be solving these two equations simultaneously. So I hope class, now it's clear how you will solve and get the coordinates of the new points which we get on the graph. So in the further slide, as you'll see, I found out the coordinates of G and I like this. So on substituting the first and third, I got the G coordinates directly to be 6, 8. As far as coordinate I is concerned, on solving, I saw that none of the numbers were same of the variables. So I changed 3 and 2 and made it as 6y. So I multiplied equation 1 by 2 and equation 2 by 3. Now sometimes class, you won't be getting round figures as answers. So as you all can see, I got the value of x as 78 upon 11, which is approx 7.090. Now class, whenever you get such values, after substituting, as you can see, I got the value of y as 80 upon 11. The point answer is 7.27. So basically for substituting, you can always take the fraction format rather than decimal. If you take decimal, that's also okay, no issues. But for my convenience, I kept it as fraction and I solved the equation. So I kept the values as 78 upon 11, 80 upon 11. You all can also take 7.09 and 7.27 for the same. After getting all the 5 coordinates, we have to put them in the objective function z. So as you can see, the next step to find the objective function z, I substituted point O, point E, point G, point I, and point D. So I have substituted all the 5 points of my feasible region in the objective function. Now, as the question was of maximization class, in this case, you noticed there are two similar answers. That is, at point I, I'm getting the value to be as 180. Similarly, at point G also, I'm getting the same answer, 180. So class, whenever you have more than one common answer, that particular solution is also called as alternate solution. The sum which has an alternate solution other than optimum solution as well. So class, in this case, we are having two different alphabets which gives us the same value. So I can write the final answer like this. The profit is maximum at rupees 180 when x is equal to 6 and y is equal to 8, that is at point G, or when x is equal to 78 by 11 and y is equal to 80 upon 11, that is at point I. So with this class, our first sum gets over here. So I hope you all were able to understand how to solve it. Now we are taking one more example which involves without table, where there was no table and we framed the inequations directly. So remember class, I gave you all the hint whether there is a name of the person or whether it is a banking transaction, time, distance, speed, sums related. In that case, we solve the sum directly. So this I have already explained you all, so I'm not explaining it again. We stopped at the formulation part like this. So I am taking Mr. John wala sum, that is time, distance, and speed, sum number 8. So we had got these two inequations in that case. Now pay attention how we solved them. So I took the first inequation, x upon 60 plus y upon 90 less than equal to 1. Now in this case, the inequation is a fraction. So first we have to rationalize and make them common. So I did cross multiplication and I got 90x plus 60y upon 6 nines are 54, 00 is equal to 1. So this denominator will go that side, again cross multiply. 90x plus 60y is equal to 5400. Now class, this I have already taught you last year as well. If it is possible, you can reduce the values of the inequations as well. So dividing throughout by 30, I got the answer to be as 3x plus 2y is equal to 180. So after simplifying, the procedure is the same as you know. So there are two inequations. I took them one by one. And after that, as you all can see, I have plotted. Please ignore the cuttings which are done here. It was a little bit of silly mistake. After drawing the lines, you can see they are intersecting at a particular point E. So you can name that. As you can see, both these inequations involve the sign of less than equal to again. That means your feasible area will be towards the origin like this. So basically the feasible region you can see as I've written OCEB is the feasible region. Now O, C and B are already solved. You don't have the coordinate of E. So as you know class, what to do? You will take these two equations and you will solve them simultaneously because there are only two equations in this sum. So again on solving the point E, coordinates E, you see that again I'm getting fractions. So you can keep it in fractions or you can change it into decimal as per your convenience. I've done both for your this thing. So you can just go through. So I got the coordinates and I have kept it as 120 upon 7 and 450 upon 7. After getting the coordinates, all the 4 points you have to substitute and put it in the objective function. Z is equal to x plus y. So at point O, at point C, at point E, and at point B. So you got all the 4 over here. As the sum was, what was the maximum distance the person will complete or Mr. John will be completing. So out of the 4, the maximum value we got at point E, that is 81.42 kilometers he'll be completing. So the final answer, you will write it like this. The maximum distance traveled is at point T, that is 81.42 kilometers, when the value of x is 120 upon 7 and the value of y is 450 by 7. So class, with this, simple cases sums are over. For your practice, you can start with exercise 6.2. Now in exercise 6.2, the questions are already formulated and given to you. So you can directly start with the solution part as I explained here. So all sums don't solve because all are not the same pattern which we have finished. The patterns which we have finished includes sum number 2. As you can see, the question is of maximization. You have two constraints over here. Always remember class, the non-negativity constraint you have to ignore. Don't consider them. So here you can see you have two inequations. The signs are different. So be very careful while shading the areas. Okay. Then you can solve the third sum. Again, you have two inequations in that. Then you can solve sum number 5. There are 1, 2, and 3 inequations. I just now explained you all, and yesterday also I explained you all 3 inequations how to solve. You can also go with the 6th one. You have 2 inequations over here, and sum number 8 involving 3 inequations. So class, exercise 6.2 is very simple. So pay attention to exercise 6.1 in that you had to formulate and you had to find the solution. In exercise 6.2, they have already formulated the questions for you all. You just have to find out the solution part and state the objective function where it is maximum and where it is minimum. So we stop here for today class. I hope you all are following and practicing. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, keep studying, keep practicing. So thank you so much class. We stop here for today.